YG getting us in the right mood right here on 5FM. Welcome to the hottest party here on 5. This is The Stir Up. My name is MsCosmo. With you for the next 3 hours here on 5FM, where I'm going to be giving you the best in local and international hip-hop as per usual, as per every single Sunday. Come on. Yes, and I've got something really special lined up for the show tonight. Of course, you know me, always coming with the good things, always coming with the surprises, always coming with the content that you deserve. So that's why you choose the Stir Up, and that's why you choose 5FM every single week. I have somebody very special who's on his way. He's going to join us in studio. We're going to have a chat with him, kind of break down as to what it is exactly he's going to be doing on the show. Gemini Major hanging out with Tillerman and Nasty C on that one. It's called Right Now. Like I said, it was his birthday on Friday, so shout out to him. Giving us a hot tune, and that song dropped this past weekend just in time for him to celebrate. I did say to you that I have someone special in studio with me tonight. He came all the way to South Africa to have a chat with me.
Yes, indeed.
Finally,
we made this happen.
You know?
Yes, indeed.
You know, I went all the way to New York to try and have a chat with you, and you decided to take the day off.
Well, you know, I didn't take the day off. The day took me off.
Oh, really?
It's a difference in that. I think I believe I was ill that day.
Yes.
That you were here, but I made the trip because I wanted to come to you. I thought it was important to come to MsCosmo. Yes.
Thank you so much.
The world radiates by your voice and your presence, so I had to be in your home soil.
Listen to that. Yes, everybody, in case you are wondering whose voice that is Sway from Sway in the Morning. He is in town. He landed this morning just to make sure things are extra cold tomorrow and the next day.
Yes.
So you're here courtesy of Castle Light. You're here for the Sway Cyphers.
We're doing Sway Cyphers tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. You know, I always talk about where my hyena's at when I'm on Sway in the Morning. And we had a few folks from SA that came by. You know, Stogie T came in and shredded the mic, and Nasty C came by and shredded the mic. Questa came by. Casper came by, AKA came by. We had all this SA representation coming to the States, so I wanted to come. I want to come home, MsCosmo. I wanted to come home.
Welcome home,
Thank
Sway.
you very
Welcome
much.
home. He's already taking over the mic, acting like it's his show. It's the evening. It's not
what
Sway in the morning.
Oh, okay.
It's not Sway in the evening. It's MsCosmo in the evening.
Okay. Love it.
We really appreciate the love that you show to South Africa. I think a lot of people have seen how you've always given us a shout out. I mean, even with Pro Kid and Double HP passing, you still gave us a shout out as well. Why so much love for SA?
It's a number of reasons, to be quite honest with you. Growing up in my household in Oakland, California, my family really identified what was going on over here in Africa. And so I made a promise to myself that if I was able to create platforms that would become visible around the world, I wanted to put the world on those platforms. And I knew it was a lot of culture coming out of South Africa that people in the States weren't aware of in other places necessarily. And the fact is, a lot of people are extremely talented. I kind of wanted to broaden out what hip-hop culture can do and show the world what that is, that we live parallel lives. We might have a Drake, or you might have a Big Sean, or you might have a J. Cole in the United States, but you might have a Stogie T over here. You might have an A. Reese over here, or a young Big Hash over here that's starting to rise. And I wanted to show that we all connected through the culture, and where we might be divided in politics and religion, we could be unified in the music and the culture. And that's why we did it.
And that's why we do this every Sunday as well, unity in the culture. And I think, obviously, with some of the interviews and the freestyles you've had, you've obviously decided to take the cream of the crop, which is great.
Okay.
You've got a good ear.
Okay.
I commend you on that one. High five.
Thank you.
You're doing really well, Sway.
Thank you.
I'm just saying. You know what I mean? Okay. But were you at all surprised about what was coming out of SA, or were you kind of expecting that type of talent to come through?
I didn't expect anything. I didn't know, and when I started doing my research, I was blown away. I'll be honest with you. Nasty C came over there and just shocked the world. I was curious about him. He represents a younger generation. I want to know what his mindset was like. I wanted to know what his journey was like. How did he become who he is? And then when you read up on folks, you realize that people are having the same victories and the same problems here in SA that we have in the United States.
Yes.
And so you hear artists with their gripes about their record labels and not getting enough attention.
All the same.
It's all the same. So you see that happening over here.
Yes.
You hear the beefs. I didn't understand the beefs for a long time, and then I got to see. But then you got Drake and Meek,
yes,
who had a beef, but the thing about that beef is they brought it back together and they reconciled.
Yes.
And hopefully people who have beefs over here can one day find a common ground.
Well, we're not so sure about the biggest beef we have.
Was that the AKA and Casper beef?
Yeah. Maybe you're going to bring them together.
I brought them together. I brought them on Sway in the Morning, and we had these conversations. I know that thing is deeply rooted and personal.
Yes.
But if Meek Mill and Drake could come together on stage and put aside their differences, I saw Casper post something, look, about hip-hop. We need to use this to build. We don't have to like each other, but we could come together and build with each other.
Yes.
And it's true. They don't have to necessarily like each other, but imagine the impact it would have if they could stand in unison on the younger generation coming up.
Well, here's hoping, and here's us all holding our breaths for that one. I am hanging out to Sway here on the Stro Up. Hit me up on the line 089 1100505. You can also tweet me some of your questions. Hashtag the Stro Up. Tag me on MsCosmo SA 5FM and the Weekend of 5. Hanging out with Rouge on this one. Called Mam Kopozi on 5FM. Before that, gave you Meek Mill, Drizzy Drake on 5 with Going Bad. Muesli and Rouge will also be out at the Sway Cyphers tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I gave you a little bit of a taste of what you're going to expect tomorrow. Are you keen for that? Like, are you keen to see what else we have? Because you've already seen, like I said, you've interviewed the cream of the crop from what I think is South African hip-hop royalty. But now there's the kids who are also coming through. People like Big Hash is also going to come through. Who are you most excited to hear from?
I like MsCosmo, even in the States. I mean, I have access to the A-list or the big ones.
Yes.
But I like to also focus on the up-and-coming ones because they become the A-list.
Yes.
They become the big ones. So A. Reese is somebody I'm really interested in seeing him perform.
Are you sure that's not because everyone's been howling at you on Twitter like you need to check A. Reese?
That's exactly why. Because everybody keeps saying I need to check A. Reese.
Funny enough, I even did a poll, and I did it here on the show as well. And I asked my listeners, I was like, who do you think needs to go next to Sway? And it was between A. Reese and Shane Eagle. Those were the top two coming through.
Yeah. And A. Reese actually reached out to me. And so I like when people take the initiative. And I know his crew got a interesting journey that they've been going through. Big Hash, I've been looking at his music and seeing what that's about. I find it fascinating how much influence that there is in SA in the States and in the States has on SA.
Yes.
And so I'm interested in finding out people I don't know about.
That's dope.
And that's why I came out here. So I don't profess to know it all. But what I do know is I love how this culture has been able to elevate us all. Who's to say what some of these artists would be doing if they didn't have this outlet?
That's so
and
true.
So I know Sway's Universe has become a pretty reputable platform. So I'm here. I'm traveling the world to see who got what, who got bars, who's hyenas, who's really about it, who's not. So this would be our chance to see. We brought our Sway's Universe videographers here. We're going to post it on our platforms as well. I'm here in the most humble way, MsCosmo. I'm in your hometown.
Yes.
So I just want to take in energy, take in culture, and then take it back.
Let's do that. Somebody who you actually did kind of pinpoint with your hyena freestyle, the 5-finger freestyle, is Questa. You put him on as one of your top 5, not last year, I think it was the year before. How did he make it to the top 5 of all the freestyles you had for that year?
I thought Questa, a lot of my personal picks is not just the performance, it's also the story behind it. And I know it might sound cliche, but it's also the journey too. I was just pleasantly surprised. I thought he had a certain rawness about him. I liked his dialect. I thought he represented, SA in a way that no one had up until that point. I mean, I think he kept it more homegrown, home soil than the other MCs. Some of the MCs kind of you could hear the influence of other places. But with Questa, it just felt like, okay, I'm getting real South African MCs, right? Like this is the real shit.
But you didn't understand half of it. Yes, thank you.
Okay, real stuff. Okay.
Gonna get me fired.
Okay, I didn't say it.
That's why you came here.
I didn't say it. Okay.
But obviously for you, I always find like obviously for South Africans, we're rapping in a completely different dialect, and it's a dialect that's only originating here in South Africa. So for Kwesta to go out there, rap in Zulu, nobody understands what he's saying besides South Africans. How did you feel that you could relate to that freestyle even though you didn't know what was happening?
I was speaking to, we just came from a house party, and I was speaking to the bartender who told me, man, I grew up watching your show on YouTube. I learned how to speak English by watching the MCs spit in English, and then I started learning the meanings behind the words. And I felt like Kwesta, his timing was great. He was in the pocket, and he spoke in a way that you could hear the words, and if you didn't understand the dialect, it made you curious enough to try to look it up or even ask. In my case, I would ask him. That's what this is supposed to do, MsCosmo. It's supposed to bring us together. We learn from it.
Yes.
I know a lot of people around the world that say they learned how to speak English by listening to hip-hop music. They learned about politics by listening to hip-hop music. They learned about religion. They learn the similarities we have, that we all, even though we live in different places, that we all go through the same thing. You come over to the States, I come over here. I feel like I grew up with you, or at least we grew up in the same environment. It's no difference except for we live far apart, you know. And so to me, Kwesta, the reason why I chose him was for that reason. It may not have been for those. It was for people who come from SA to see him in the top 5 and go, man, that's something I can aspire to do.
Yes.
You know, and that's why he got chosen.
Nice. Nadia Nakai with I'm a Boss on 5FM. Before that, Post Malone, 21 Savage, Rockstar. Post Malone's also going to be doing big things on Tuesday. So I hope you've got your tickets, because tickets are sold out. So if you haven't gotten them as yet, where you been? Sway is in the building, though.
Yes,
He's hanging out with us. He's also going to be out there with Meek tomorrow, Post on Tuesday. They're going to be rocking the stage.
Nadia Nakai, huh? Yeah, I remember I met her at the European Music Awards on the red carpet, and she came to me and said she was a hyena and started spitting flames.
Did that not take you by surprise? Like, for someone to just like while out on a red carpet in like a ball gown, haute couture, and she's just like, yo, you need to hear these bars right now.
Yeah. I didn't know what was going on, but I liked her spirit. I liked her heart. And she didn't look like she was dressed the part. But you can't judge a book, MsCosmo, by its cover, you know. And she hit those flame bars, and then we posted. A lot of people around the world gave her a lot of props.
Yes.
So SA still coming up. It feels good to be here. I feel like I'm home.
Yes.
You know, it's just I'm starting to thaw out. We just got off the plane today.
How long are you here? Because I feel like you might need to extend your stay.
Okay. Those hotels are pretty expensive.
Okay. He's got like plenty of houses, so I'm sure he can, host you somewhere in one of his little properties. You know what I mean?
Is that okay, C's? I'm going to stay till Friday. I hope to go to Cape Town on Wednesday.
Nice. I was in Cape Town yesterday.
Yeah?
Weather's quite good. It's better than here.
So what Cape Town is? Okay. The weather's doing well?
Weather's nice.
Okay.
So I'm sure you're going to have a good time if you're out there. It's definitely our global city, but you'll see it for yourself.
Well, I'm looking for your connection, so you got to hook me up.
Definitely, I got you.
Okay.
All right, so you say you obviously posted that video of Nadia, and she was getting a lot of global love. What do you think it's going to take for a South African to actually get that global appeal? I mean, we're seeing the uprising of Afrobeat doing big things. Obviously, Burna's taking big stages, Davido's taking big stages. What's it going to take for an AKA or a Casper or a Kwesta to do the same thing?
I think it's I think they're on their way, because when they're making music that's appealing to people across the borderlines, right? Number one, but I also think fraternizing, like Meek's in town, Post Malone is in town. Man, try to get in front of them, get on some tracks, do some features, let your music spread with their audience as well as letting their music spread with your audience. And I'm going to say this honestly, man, South Africa is responsible for South African artists. So you got, 5FM, whatever the platforms are that's out there, y'all got to boost them up. You got to constantly support them. And the audience got to support their own artists. Like that crab in the bucket mentality ain't gonna work. Nobody's gonna rise.
And we keep saying that support locals. The only way we're gonna take it to the top.
That's the only way it's gonna happen. But I think they too need to. When these people come to town, when they come to your home soil, make sure they pay homage and make sure you jump on some tracks with some of those folks. If Megan Thee Stallion come out here, Nadia need to be on the track with her.
Definitely.
If Little Sean, Big Sean come out here, somebody need to jump on the track with
Little
him.
Sean.
I was gonna say Little Sean. Shout Shout out to Lil Sean, though. Okay.
It's a remix.
Yeah, so whoever, I think you just got to and then you got to travel. You got to go to
Yes.
different places. That's the one thing that Nasty C and Casper and AKA have done. They came out there, and they came to the States. And it's hard to break in the States when you're not from the States, but it could be done.
That's so true. I was out in Miami the same time you were there for Rolling Loud weekend.
Yeah.
I went out there just to go and experience and kind of see what was happening out there. The energy is growing quite heavily. And I know for you, you've always been a bit of an old head with a type of, I don't know, maybe the trap is not really your vibe. But there was a lot of it happening Rolling Loud weekend. Who do you think has got next from that bunch of people who were out there performing?
I wouldn't. Well, one thing we got to do is stop with the generational division.
Okay.
Like the old head, the new head. Music is music.
Yes.
So it's not that I'm not a trap. I haven't been on the trap vibe. I've had everybody from Pee Wee Longway to the Migos to Future to the producers on the show. It's just I like those who are pioneers at it and those who do it great.
Yes.
Just like what we consider traditional hip hop. I don't like all the traditional hip hop rappers that come out, but I like those that do it great. I think what you're seeing now is trap music has become what Rolling Loud has done, what Tariq and Matt have done with Rolling Loud is incredible. It's in the tradition of hip hop. They found a lane for those who were first getting the exposure on SoundCloud and YouTube and the digital space. And there was a lot of naysayers because anytime change happens, people run away from it. They're scared of it. I'm the type that like to embrace it. But just like any other music, I'm going to look for the best of the best, the cream of the crop, just like I did with SA. And I think it's a place for it. I think we have to accept that the same way that people prior to them had to accept Nas.
Yes.
Or people had to accept Southern rap in the United States. I think people have to accept global rap, whether it's grime in the UK or it's what you guys are doing here in SA, in Germany, in the Netherlands. It's all the same thing. So all the division, all these dividing trigger words work against us. To me, it's all in a part of the same umbrella. You just got different sections of it. And it's not going anywhere. I don't think, I think people are going to keep improving on it. When you look at a Post Malone who came through that kind of corridor, but he kept growing, and now his music is all just about genreless.
Yes.
I think that's a sign of the times of what we're seeing with younger artists that are coming up using that sound. It's all, everything runs its course, has its cycles. Change does come, but it's all a part of the same umbrella to me.
That's so true.
Yeah.
We're still here with Sway. We're still checking out what he's brought to our shores. He's constantly shedding light on what's happening to South Africa. So he's going to give us a little bit of a breakdown as to who's got next.
Okay, I like
in the
that.
States.
I just want to say I love South Africa, and I love South African culture. And
yes, you even tried to learn a bit of lingo. What was Questa trying to teach you? What was
don't
that
do
word
that
again?
to me right now.
I remember I sent you a text. I was like,
Oh, yeah, you did.
No,
send me
try that again.
No, you got so mad at me. You even reposted it. Like, I was like, geez. I thought that was funny, though, because I just try to adapt. What's next in the States? It's a lot of great artists. One is by the name of Oswin Benjamin.
Yes.
He's somebody who came through the Sway in the Morning show. And a lot of our listeners really chose him to really support. We try to support local independent artists who don't have the big conglomerates around them. He has an album called Godfree. Oswin Benjamin did a couple of freestyles on Sway's Universe, got a lot of great attention. He's a spitter, and he just put this album out. One of the songs on it is called Personal.
So we had a caller call in a little bit earlier, and he was begging and pleading and saying, yo, Sway needs to hear what I've got packing. So are you ready to hear what Apelele's got packing?
Okay, yeah, I'm ready, man. Make sure you got bars. All right, I like that big Zulu too, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Apelele, what's up?
Hi. I'm good, how's it?
Sharp. So say what's up to Sway. You're representing Eastern Cape right now. It's all in your hands.
Yeah.
All right.
Mr. Sway, I just want to first welcome you to the world of the hyenas. You got a lot of us here.
I know we do. That's where I got it from SA. So make sure you represent.
I'll make sure just now.
All
Look, I see couple of haters that's busy hating on music. We got couple of bags that we smoking and keep the focus. We are destined for greatness. It's probably why they feel threatened. I am one of the greats, and that's really hard to deny. Just when you pay me attention, I paint the pictures to life. I need to switch up the game because nobody came here to rap. Rapping is for the realest and trapping is for the stats. We got it all up in the bag. You just gotta pay me respect. This is for the F of it. This is for the dreams that went bananas. I will resurrect. This is Sway, and this for me. This for and then try to take it true. I've been at it a decade straight. I've been rolling out since I came. I've been solid, not losing faith. All these ladies offer me cake. All they doing is wobbling. All the music is violent. I got the same flow that your favorite rap is diving in.
Yeah.
All right, okay.
That's what I got for you.
Okay, we got a hyena cub right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, it's all
Thank you
right.
very much, man.
Thank you,
Thank
man.
you very much.
Keep going, bro. Keep going.
Thank you so much. Keep on working at it, Apalele. We really appreciate it. So yeah, man, there you have one of our hyena cubs.
That's a cub. He's not fully grown yet. He stumbled once or twice.
Yes,
so, you know.
he did. But it could be his nerves. I mean, come on.
Good. I like that. You're
Yes.
supposed to be nervous, but you got to perform in those nerves. But MsCosmo, I want to say thank you for having me on.
Thank you so much for coming.
Absolutely. And to SA, man, we in the States used our culture to take over the world. When you see a Meek Mill fighting for criminal justice reform, he did that through the culture. You see Jay-Z becoming a billionaire, it was through the culture that we were able to let ourselves be heard. You can do the same thing in this country. You could do the same thing on this continent. It's the culture that's going to empower you. Use that culture to make sure people hear your voice. Use that culture to uplift your fellow man, improve your conditions. That's what the culture is for. So I'm proud of everybody in SA. I'm proud to be here. And thank you for receiving me. You can find me at Real Sway on Instagram across the board and subscribe to Sway's Universe on YouTube.
Thank you so much. And there you have it, Sway, from Sway's Universe, Sway in the Morning. Really appreciate the fact that he came through and just to kind of shed some knowledge and to have some fun with us here on the Strap and obviously listen to what we have to offer. We still have number 4 to check out of the local top 5. Don't go anywhere. We're still here until 10 p.m.